Have you seen this madness that is a $7,000 Citizen watch? I just saw these. They're the limited edition 30th anniversary models, and there's actually two versions. The $7,000 version has accuracy of -3 to +5 seconds per day, a running time of about 60 hours, and the basically standard 28,800 beats per hour. It's the same beat per hour as Rolex, but it's becoming standard. You can get this in a couple $100 watches. This is supposed to come out in December of 2025. Whereas this version, the one with the Eco Drive movement, is $3,100, and that is already out. It came out in November. The 7K version, there's only going to be 300 worldwide, and for the Eco Drive $3,000 version, it's only 500 units. I just think this is kind of crazy and indicative of just the price creep in general, from Christopher Ward to Grand Seiko maybe normalizing this, $4,000 G-Shocks, and now you can spend $7,000 on a Citizen. I do like the look overall, but you gotta admit they're kind of derivative. They're a bit late to the whole integrated bracelet look, obviously all inspired by AP, but this has been increasingly popular over the past year, I'd say. And the bracelet on the Eco Drive movement, and really just the whole overall look, even how much the crown sticks out, to those two polished stripes on the bracelet, even the actual form of the case itself, I'm just noticing. It all just looks like it's trying to be a Grand Seiko. Kind of crazy, the more I'm looking at it, I'm seeing even more. The hands are the most obvious, that's on both models. And I really like these applied indices, they're actually sticking up, they're attached to the dial. But with this sort of silver leaf look, it really does look cool. But for 3K, you can just get some spring drive Grand Seikos over on eBay. The spring drive really is a qualitative jump in technology. I do really like the Eco Drive movement. I think it's impressive, but nothing is going to have that smooth sweep of the spring drive. People bring up Bulova movements, and those are the closest. I actually own an old Accutron. It's 36 ticks per second, so to the naked eye it looks like a smooth sweep. But the only thing that is an actual smooth release is with the spring drive. To be honest, I think you would have buyer's remorse shelling out $3,000 to even $7,000. I mean, I'm kind of not even thinking about that one, that's just absurd. But even the 3K version, why not just pick up a used Snowflake? You can't even fake a Grand Seiko, but even if you could, if that is a worry, the authenticity program is legit. Clearly, Citizen here, I don't mean to use the word, but come on, it's like a rip-off of the Grand Seiko. I think you're coming so close to Snowflake money, why don't you just get that? Who can afford a 3K watch but not a 4 or 5K? Just wait and save up. Because it's also going to retain its value a lot better. I really do think the Snowflake and Shunbun would be collector's items. While many still can't get over the fact that they're paying this much for something that says Seiko on it, it's these two pieces, which you even know by name. It's something you really only see with Rolex, the Pepsi, the Coke, the Hulk. People know the Shunbun and the Snowflake. Or at least watch people, because that's another issue. You're going to spend all this money on a Citizen, and as much as we want to admit that we're just buying what we like, it is astonishing owning the Shunbun how nobody even notices it. Which could be a good thing or a bad thing. Same with Rolex. Everyone's going to notice it for good or bad. But just don't underestimate how you might feel silly after spending this much money on this. When it's just a Citizen, again, I think the Eco Drive movement is actually maybe behind the spring drive for being something that's so technologically interesting. What sucks is I really do like the design here. I wish it could be closer to 1K. Even then, it's funny when you talk to people that just aren't so into watches. I was explaining my Henry Archer to one of my friends, and he was like, $600 for a watch, man. That's kind of crazy. And it is. You gotta remember that. I don't know if you've seen the memes with guy math, being that you can get a great deal on eBay. It really should be 12K, but you got it for 9 or something. But it really is a lot of money to spend on something like this. And make sure you get hands-on with it. Because one of the things that was disappointing with the Shunbun, I'd never actually held it in person before I bought it. But the 3K, the Eco Drive version, the one that I think looks better, and it's at 38.3 millimeters, which is really interesting. But that means it's going to feel insanely light because it's made out of titanium. My biggest critique of the Shunbun is just the band. It's so strange, and you'll see this complaint online, but it just is uncomfortable in such a weird way. It's hard to explain. It's why I end up wearing my Henry Archer watch more, and again, it's only $600. The comfort really is just that big a deal. But at 38 millimeters and being full titanium, while interesting at a technical level, it's going to feel cheap. It's probably going to be one of the lightest watches you've ever worn, except for, cheap Casio digital models or something. But I just wanted to highlight this. Am I crazy for thinking this is crazy? Are they cool? Obviously, I respect the company and respect the technology in them, but I'm just seeing this price creep everywhere. It's having this strange effect where, if I'm honest, I'm not as interested in newer releases. I'm looking at vintage and micro brands trying to stay in the few $100 range, at least under $1,000. And so when the designs here are so derivative of other models, I kind of just don't get why they went with this. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Obviously, wear whatever you want. Nobody really cares. These are just my thoughts. See you in the next one.